Truman Show!
Hello and welcome to Emily Reviews. My name is Emily, and here on my channel I talk about movies and TV shows my daughter and I watch. We give our opinions and show some of our favorite clips and, just overall have a good time. Make sure you hit that like button, wait till the end of the video and find out what emoji I request, and subscribe if you want to see more of me talking about movies and acting like a fool. So, this week's movie, totally credit it to Fundy Fridays. If you have not seen their channel, go and watch them. Like, seriously, subscribe, watch them, binge them, love them. They're amazing. A couple weeks ago, they were talking about Matt Keys, and that his house is the house that they use for the filming of the Truman Show, for Truman's house. And when my daughter and I were watching that video, we were doing the dishes, and I kept laughing at the jokes that they were making about the Truman Show and Matt Keys and Gates. I don't know how to say his name correctly. I suck at saying names. But yeah, and I was laughing, and as kids do when they don't understand jokes, she kept asking what, and I just was like, I'll explain to you later, whatever, blah blah blah, and then we ended up watching the movie either that night or the next day or a couple days later. But yeah, we really enjoyed it, and kiddo suggested that we watch the Truman Show. She's like, what about that movie that we watched because of Fundy Fridays or whatever? And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good one. So we chose that one. And yeah, I have it on VHS. It's not the original version. It's the screening cassette. So like it has the numbers and stuff you'll see in the clips. So yeah, I like it. It's a great movie. So I'm really excited to talk about this movie and what my daughter and I thought about it and all that stuff. Editing Emily here. I am the worst mother ever. My daughter worked so hard on this picture for my background, and I didn't even give her credit. And as I'm editing, she's like, "Did you mention my photo?" And I'm like, "How dare I?" So here I am telling you guys I'm a bad mother, and I forgot to say, hey, look, my daughter drew me a picture, and it's so beautiful, and I love her. She's sitting right here. I love you. Okay.
No. It's Sailor Jupiter.
It is. It's Sailor Jupiter. I even got her special pens for it and everything. So, love you guys. Thank you, daughter. When watching movies, I know the thing to do now is go on Netflix or Disney Plus or Hulu or who's in a what's it thingamabob. I get it. But I prefer having like an actual movie in your hands. I prefer that so much more. It's like there's nothing better than going to Blockbuster and picking out a movie and bringing it home and making popcorn, and it was an event. And yeah, I know that streaming services are convenient, and like I'm talking to one on a streaming service Because YouTube's a streaming service. Like, kiddo, is YouTube a streaming service?
What?
YouTube is a streaming service like Netflix, but you don't have to pay for it, yes?
No.
What is YouTube?
YouTube is a platform where creators are able to post wherever they want as long as it
But you're streaming on there.
But a streaming service and streaming is different. Like a streaming service is when you're able to stream like a movie or something to your friends and watch it together, whereas that's a streaming service, and then streaming is like when you're streaming to a live audience and like trying to entertain them live.
Is she wrong? I don't know. Comment if you have an opinion. Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure. I was talking about how it's better to have like I prefer these going to like you're not of that age, but being able to go to Blockbuster or the movies and rent a movie, and it just seemed more real, being like it seemed like an event, and instead of like being able to watch like on Netflix or whatever. And then I realized that I am talking on a streaming service, that I'm like, is YouTube a streaming service? Mind blown, right? Okay, so as my child has said, kiddo is not a streaming service. Kiddo is not a streaming service. I just said that. As my child just has said, YouTube is not a streaming service. So there just reaffirms that I know nothing. That's what that affirms, that I just still know nothing about life. I own that. But I do think that my love of movies comes from that, and even like when I would go to my grandmother's house and being able to go to Blockbuster and watch movies, and it's really just such a great comfort for me. And I think that's why I like making these videos more than when I was making my other videos. You know, I still like making those, I just like making these ones more. I even like editing these videos, they're more funny to me, and it's all in all better content, you know, with the exception of the video before this one, because I was like talking super low and my voice was still kind of crackly and whatever. I really do need to get a mic eventually. I just moved my camera closer. Hopefully it won't be so low this time. Yeah, I make mistakes. I make a lot of them. Big ones. Big mistakes. All the time. Yeah. But I learn from them. That's the difference. Learning from them. It's okay to make lots of mistakes as long as you learn from them. But if you haven't checked out that video that I made before, it was John Wick. Here's a card. Okay, so now me ranting on how much I love Jim Carrey. I respect Jim Carrey. He is so awesome. Oh my goodness. And not just Jim Carrey, like his overall way he lives and approaches his life, and the gifts and the challenges the universe gives him. I really admire that, and I choose to live my life much as the same way as he does. I try my darndest to give thanks to the universe and thank the universe for everything I have, even the littlest things. Now, mind you, not every day it is easy to do that, and sometimes, especially when you're so used to having like negative thinking paths, that it's so quick to fall back into that. But I do try my hardest, and then like when I do fall into that, I'm like, no. Will the positive, think of the positive, don't dwell on the negative, like, you know. And I accredit a lot of that thinking and that way, my way of life, and how I approach my challenges and gifts, and basically willing my existence into the universe however, you know, I choose. to be happy, all that stuff, right? And I accredited a lot of that to Jim Carrey. I know, like I said, how difficult sometimes it is to thank the universe every day, and even sometimes you can have difficult to even find what something to think that's thankful. You can even be watching this video and saying, Emily, I have nothing to be thankful for. You're just talking a bunch of gibberish. But I am gonna say, excuse you. No, no, no. That's not true. There is plenty to be thankful for. The fact that it's a really beautiful day outside, that's a good thing to be thankful for. The fact that you have air in your lungs and you're breathing, that's a thing to be thankful for. If you have a place to lay down, even if it's not a home, even if you have like a place to lay your head down for 5 minutes, that's a thing to be thankful for. You know, that if you have somebody to talk to, or if you're watching this video, then you're hearing my words and saying that I'm thankful for you to watch this video. That's something to be thankful for too. You know, it's all a good circle, a circle of thankfulness and appreciation, and the smallest things. It doesn't matter like how small and insignificant you think that thing is that you're thanking. It's not. It's all the little bits and events that make up life all coming together to be your reality. And each thing that you have in your life is meant to be, and has brought you to this path that you're living. And it's a thing of gratitude. And I think that's important. I think that having gratitude just makes me feel complete. When I stopped dwelling on the negative and started thinking about the positive and started being thankful for things, I didn't feel that dark black pit. I didn't feel, not despair, but almost despair, you know? I just didn't feel like that. And I just want to say that I am thankful for every single person who is watching this video, and I am thankful for you to just be you. You are just who you are, and I am thankful for that. See what I mean though? Jim Carrey just brings out the gratitude in you, and he makes you really think about things. And like I said, I am very thankful for this opportunity and my chance to make videos and talk about videos and make videos about videos and talking about videos. And I'm just very thankful, and I have a lot of gratitude, and I am humbled by every single subscriber I have, and I'm humbled by every view I have, and I'm humbled every day I get to sit here and watch videos with my daughter and talk about things with her. That's my favorite part. And, you know, just, it makes me really, really happy to be able to do that and have that chance to do that. And I really look forward to all of the movies. It's funny though, because the Truman Show really does have some underlining truth to it. The want and need that people have to watch other people's lives on TV, and to sit back in your home with your munchies or supper or whatever, watching these people in their lives who seem to all be train wrecks be on TV, and then it gives you some sort of false sense of superiority, thinking that, hey, at least my life isn't that bad. But when you look at it, or you really knew that a lot of the stuff that you're watching is just edited for TV, and that the things that are going on are really scripted, and there is no such thing as reality TV. There is no such thing as anything that's real when it comes to edited stuff. Like, that's not true, because you are telling a story when you're editing. You are making a narrative. You're not leaving in the whole kit and caboodle, whether it's messy or fun or whatever. You are editing what you want in and out of that video. And that's even with the Truman Show. And yes, he may not have known that he was like in a TV show, but every single one of the friends of his family, his mother, his best friend, they all knew. They all knew, and it was all scripted. That everything was controlled. There wasn't one thing in that show that wasn't controlled. Like, here's this clip of the creator, Christoph, talking in his earpiece to Truman's best friend, telling his best friend what he should be saying to him. Because, again, it's all scripted.
You don't want to believe it, so you look for answers somewhere else. But...
Well, the point is, I'd gladly walk in front of traffic for you.
The point is, I would gladly step in front of traffic for you, Truman.
The last thing I'd ever do is lie to you.
And the last thing that I would ever do is lie to you.
No matter how hard they tried to make it real, to make it actual, no matter how hard they tried, it didn't matter. Everything, right down to his school, like his parents were chosen, his school was chosen, his girlfriends were chosen, his best friend was chosen, his college and job. Everything he does, even if he doesn't realize that it's not his choice, like it's the choiceless choice. That's all he has. That's all he lives, is things that are scripted for him. He doesn't realize, he doesn't know until he starts to know.
Oh.
You slept the whole way there.
It looks so small.
I think so.
So many choices.
No! Do something!
What'd you say? Who are you talking to?
And because this is a 24-hour, 7 days a week, no breaks, no nothing show or television station, I guess, they didn't break for commercials, so everything had to be for sale. And that's really weird too. Like, and even the friends and the friends, like, and all the other, like, the cast members, they would push Truman in front of signs, or they would talk about, his best friend would talk about how good the beer was, or his wife would talk about, like, anything, the hot chocolate, would talk about a lawnmower, she talked about, what else did she talk about? A peeler, a potato peeler. Like, everything she did, she like would look not at Truman. She would look into like a random, and then smile and hold up like she was Vanna White.
Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
And like, you can only really get away with stuff like that for so long, because slowly he started to realize that shit just wasn't adding up. And like, I'm sure if they didn't try so hard to cover up the inconsistencies, Truman probably would have lived his entire life not realizing that there was inconsistencies. But because they tried so hard to cover it up, he probably, like, over time, started to notice, like, you know? But, whatever. Or even, like, how they tried so hard to keep him on the island. Like, they went as far as giving the poor child PTSD. They staged a drowning of his father to make him afraid of water. And not only that, they used his fear of water as an adult as entertainment. So they would have it in the script for one of the cast members to give Truman whatever it's called, a client that he would have to go across the take the ferry and go across the water onto the other island and like have a client. And so they would give him a client, and then they would all watch in anticipation as he couldn't do it. Like I said, it's so messed up. They controlled everything in his life. And I get worked up. And even Kiddo was asked the question when we were watching this movie. She's like, what if Truman was gay? Like, what would they do with his girlfriend? They wouldn't allow her, the one that he really loved, they wouldn't allow her to be there. They had already chosen, what's her face, Marla, or I can't remember her damn name right now. Yeah, but they had already chosen her, and then instead of the other girl that he really liked, but really she would have been lying to them. They all would have been lying to him anyway, so really what the frick is the point? But all I'm saying is, like, that's even, like, that's not real. Like,
Truman.
No, Mark, Sylvia. My name's Sylvia.
Yeah.
Mark, sweetheart, not again. Hey, wait a minute. Who are you? I'm her father. What?
I've never even
Come on,
seen you
sweetie.
before.
Doing it, please. I mean,
Like,
please.
Truman, please,
No,
don't
no.
listen. Everything I've told you is the truth.
Please.
It's fake. It's all for you.
Truman in himself wasn't real because they wouldn't even allow him to choose who he loved, you know? And so what if he was gay? Would they allow him to love a man? Would they make him suppress his emotions and ultimately marry a woman? Like, you know? I do understand, like I said, why people like to watch reality TV shows. I get it. It's interesting to look into other people's lives and see what they're doing with them. And even if it's not a train wreck, just to like see what they're doing. I get it. I play The Sims, and one of the reasons why I like playing The Sims is it gives you a false sense of accomplishment. Like, I understand it, but it's just what, like, the idea of what was done to Truman, it's beyond the scope of morality, and that, like, even, like, the audacity of Christoph, the creator, like, valuing his privacy to the point where when he was being interviewed, the interviewer described him as him being jealous of his own privacy. Like, how dare you be so pompous and self-centered and entitled to think that your privacy is worth more than anyone else's? Like, who the heck are you? And it's just, it pisses me off. Like, when Christoph says to Truman, the episode where you lost your first tooth. Like, the episode, not time, not whatever, or when I filmed you with you losing your first tooth, anything, nothing to make it human at all. It was just money, views, entertainment. That's all it was to him. Truman wasn't a person, he was a thing. Episode. Well, I'm gonna end it here. Like I said before, my makeup is not my friend, and the more I get worked up, the more my eyes water, and then my face just really starts to bother me, and I just need to like take things off of it, like all of the makeup. So I'm gonna end it here. Like I said, thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to my ranting, because I rant. And today, why don't we put in a sailboat emoji? And I'll talk. I got hiccups. I'll talk to you guys later.
While the world he inhabits is in some respects counterfeit, there's nothing fake about Truman himself.
Truman Show is a lifestyle. It's a noble life.